I'll take. Oh my God, it's talking to me. So last night I dropped the ball, and that I thought I saw somewhere where somebody had mentioned that the post, and that just boils down to I'm gonna call it laziness, that I didn't take the initiative to let everyone know that we weren't going to be having our mindset call. And I know that we had some people that jumped on that on a holiday when, a lot of people were out with family and stuff like that. And so I just want to apologize to everyone. I absolutely take the blame for that. And so that's why we're here tonight. And yes, this is going to be Mindset Matters, because it's not Mindset Monday, because Monday's over. So with that, guys, we're going to talk about some fun stuff like we always do. And we're going to talk about, let me see here, make sure that I go mute people, because I know we're going to have some naughty unmuters. It always happens. Just happens. We have naughty unmuters. And as you see, I see people are jumping on board right now, but we're not a super heavy crew tonight. And literally just got off of a leader call. And on that leader call, a lot of different points of views are brought up. And I want to talk about that because it's really interesting as we grow our business, how we feel about things, what's what. And then I'm going to try to rename myself here. So I'm not here. Let's say Chris. It's funny how some people will go, thanks, Mark. Because I'm like, they don't know my name. It's all good. My wife doesn't know my name half the time. And I'm calling her my daughter's name, my daughter her name, all kinds of fun stuff. Sometimes my sister's name gets thrown in there. But with that, I wanted to talk about like what is the business and what's not, because we have calls like this. And one of the things that was brought up with and different people are sharing different perspectives. And that's what I love about the collaboration that we have in building a direct sales network marketing business, is that it's a little bit different from the corporate side. Like, how many of you all have ever worked a job and someone else decides, what time you go to work, what time you go home, what your schedule is, what that looks like, what it's supposed to be and all that, and what the expectations are. And some of y'all, I see one person raise their hand. The rest of us have never experienced that. So that's cool too. We have a participation trophy for Misty. So thank you for collaborating there. So what it really boils down to is that in a business that is your own, we don't have a boss, right? So we don't have a boss, and we don't have people. The glare in here is killing me. I just cooked dinner while I was actually on the leader call. So we all cooked dinner together, the leaders. I know y'all are jealous. Snapper over there. Oh, it's so good. But my point is that we don't have a boss. And that's a good thing, and it's also a bad thing. So let's talk about that real quick. First off, it's a good thing that we don't have a boss, because that means that we are free to do whatever we want, which means if you want to sleep late or wake up early or go to bed late or whatever you want to do, you can do. And what it also means is that if you want to jump on the mindset call, which, I mean, of course I recommend it, but if you want to jump on that, great. If you don't, great. If you want to we have coffee chats that are there for you, that different leaders jump on there. And some people talk about how that was the staple that helped them grow their business to, the next level. And then other people might say that it's not for them. And the beautiful part about it is you can pick and choose what things you want to plug into. For instance, we have a, so Diamond and Aboves, there's a call that happens on Wednesday. And for many of us, it's the same thing that we might hear on the What's Up Weekly. So there's times, because guys, being on calls is not doing the business. I just want to let y'all know. Like, what doing the business is income creating activities. It's where you're actually sharing. Have you heard about the happy coffee everyone's been talking about? Oh my gosh, have you tried this? It's amazing. Have you basically sending someone to the website, following up with people, sending out messages, talking to people about what we do is doing the business. Being on a call is not the business. So I just want to clarify that, because for the new person, and we as leaders, and I'm going to say we as leaders, because if you're on this call and you're taking time out of your day to be on it, whether you're in a leadership role rank-wise or not, you are taking the steps that a leader does. So I'm going to call you leaders. Is that okay with everyone? Because, see, I got chills when I said that. Why? Because so many of us want to compare ourselves to other people and what they're doing or whatever, or positional leadership / rank, instead of focusing in on what are the steps that a person that wants to be a leader, what would they do? And what I can share with you is that there are absolutely things that I'm going to do on a daily basis that, for instance, every day I'm going to do some type of personal development, whether it be reading or listening to an audio program. That's not doing the business. So I just want to be clear on it. Organized in your office or getting things together so where you can be business, because you got to be organized, is not doing the business. So doing the business is basically talking to people, sharing coffee, sharing a story, sharing a website, sharing a Facebook group, following up. Those are income creating activities. Now, what I can share is that the way that I try to do things, for instance, some of the coffee chats happen to be where I've had my trainer set at a certain time for now a long time. And basically some of those days that gets in the way of what I'm currently doing. And because that's when I have that scheduled in and all that stuff, like I'm on some and I'm not on some. And I also don't beat myself up for not being on every call. But what I can tell you, just like, as you see, I have this thing plugged in right now, right? Because a little while ago, it had a little red light. And that little red light told me that my battery's getting low and it's about to shut down. And I want you to think about that, because some of you all got started here for a reason. You got started here because you had certain dreams, certain goals, certain desires, certain things that you wanted to create. And what I can share with you is, if you don't stay plugged in, that dream will die. And what will happen is this amazing little thing called excusitis. And then excuses happen. And then what happens is that all of the things that your subconscious mind does will start finding things that align with your excuses versus with your dream. So, on mindset calls, I was going to say Mindset Monday, but it's not Monday. On Mindset Matters, we talk about things that have to do with the mindset. Because the reality of it is, all right, let me ask you this. Anybody thought about going to the gym? Did anybody ever think about going to the gym and not go? All right, that's called a mindset. So the thing is that going to the gym and thinking about going to the gym are two different things. Now, you know that if you want to get in shape, then it needs to happen through exercise. But you think about that, but what's holding you back from doing the exercise happens to be your mindset, happens to be your excuses. It happens to be whatever you decide is the story. So there's the side of it where our Saturday calls are about nuts and bolts, ABC 1, 2, 3, what to do, how to get started. And we have a great lineup this month. We have Carly this weekend, and we have Hillary the next, and then we have I always want to say the Buckmans. I always say it all kind of stuff. Do I even pronounce it correctly? Is it Buckman or Bookman or Bookman? All right, whatever. Doesn't matter. People say my name wrong. They say Schweda, Schwedog, however you want to say it. So, and they're yelling at the camera like I can hear them, and they're unmuted, which is funny. Like they're trying to explain it to me, but I can't hear them because they're muted. But point being is we have them, and then we have Lisa Tolbert, who is also on here. So we have an amazing lineup this month. But the point being is, why is that? Well, well, I've already gotten started. I've already hit a rank. I've already done this. I've already done that. That's great. And you can be on the call or you cannot be on the call. It's up to you. It's your business. But what I can tell you is when that light comes on and it starts to get red and your juice is getting low, sometimes you might hear something on that call that could be that next nugget that helps move your business to the next level. So again, I'm not telling you have to be on any certain call. What I'm sharing with you is that when you can basically work it out, where you can basically, if you can be on certain calls and stuff like that, if there's nothing else or whatever, and you can pay attention, I recommend doing it. It's just like, when I'll get on the dozer and I'm like pushing dirt, and I'll go find some personal development that I'm listening to because I don't want to hear the engine noise. So I put in personal development and I'm listening to something that's filling my brain up at the time while I'm pushing dirt. Now I could do that or not do it. I could be paying total attention or not paying total attention. But the bottom line is that I'm always doing things to recharge my dream, to basically make sure, yes, I have dirt on my brain. I have a dirty mind because, again, I get excited about dirt. Why? Because I'm excited about the foundation of my dream house. I'm excited about, what it's going to look like and what it's going to feel like. Like today I was out there and there was a big old gator in the backyard, which I never really see, but I mean, the head was about that big, every bit of 8-footer or more. And it's normally not, like right there, but I'm out there visualizing what it's going to look like with the boathouse. I'll go out there and like, Sean and Kim were out there surfing and stuff like that. And it's funny how people always want to fall in the backyard. But every time we do, we're like, hey, we're in the backyard. We're there. There's no house there yet. But it's up here already. So the calls, the things that I plug into, the trainings that I get on are all recharging that dream. They're recharging what it looks like. Guys, I don't know if you understand this or not, but right now with this, a wonderful, whatever we have going on right now, whatever you want to call it, a lot of things have changed in price. So for instance, right now, and I'll just go 4 months ago, the price of 1,000 linear foot of, let's just call it 2x4, was roughly $300. Right now, the price for the exact same 2x4 is over $1,500. The price of electrical wire, where you used to be able to go buy Romex cable, which is in your walls, and you're like, what in the hell is Romex? It's the lines that are in your walls that go to your light switches, that go to everything that you have, that you don't see, that you don't even know what it's called, whatever, unless you've been in construction. The bottom line is that stuff used to be around $30 for a roll of it. We're now talking $100 and something for a roll of it. And the thing is that it could be overwhelming as I'm sitting here looking to build a house, a boathouse, a workshop, and all this stuff. And there's a side of the brain that wants to go, oh my gosh, how are you going to afford it? Are we going to be able to build the house right now? What is it going to cost and all that? And what does that do to your battery? That drains the battery when you're sitting there focusing on the dream. And now you're sitting here coming up with doubt and indecision on, can I do it? Is it smart to do right now and all that stuff? But what if you were at a place where it didn't matter how much it cost because you are so fired up and so focused in on helping empower other people in their lives. And you know that if you just go help a certain amount of people go hit their dreams and help them hit their thousandaire club and help them go out and make an extra $1,000, if you can go out there and do that. So guys, how do I offset the doubt? I offset it by focusing in on the dream again. Because it's funny, when we were setting the goal and the dream for the boat, the price was overwhelming. It didn't seem possible. It didn't seem like, how in the hell am I going to do that with my credit being shot, my whole, just everything not being where it needs to be. So I couldn't focus in on reality. I had to focus in on my dream. I had to focus in on what I wanted. And I'm sharing that because that's what I'm doing on a daily basis, where I'm focused in on what that looks like, what it feels like, and what we're going to create and how we're going to create it. And it all boils down to this culture and community. And what I can share with you guys is that there is a group of people that had the original, we had the original conversations on what it was going to look like. And I see some of them on this call. I see the McLeans. I see Ian Prather. I see, let's see, I know there's quite a few people. I see the Messinis. And I remember those calls, like as we were getting this bad boy started, on how a lot of it didn't even seem possible because we had nothing. We had nothing. But what we did have is a dream. What we did have is a vision of what we wanted it to look like and what we wanted it to feel like and what it was going to happen. And what I will tell you is that collectively, at least the conversations that we've had, is that we will be damned if that doesn't happen, no matter what. And what we know is that if we all stay together, that we can make sure that that happens. Because this is the reality, guys, and it boils down to this in life, whether you're looking at, I know we have people from different countries, but this is the reality. If we are all together as a culture and community, and we want to shift certain things within a company, I mean, can we all agree that if we're all together on the same accord, then really the company has no choice but to shift? Does that make sense? It's just like if everybody felt a certain way. I know we can have debates about the last election, all that stuff, but whatever. I'm not going to go there. But the bottom line is that if we all feel a certain way and we all say that this is what needs to happen, can we all make a difference together? Yes. And I've heard Kim share this story. I've heard, and I originally heard it from Orrin Woodward's wife. My brain just went dead on what her name is, but I know Sean probably knows it. But
her name is Lori.
There you go, Lori. I knows it too because he's a student of the game. But what I want to share is that, they told the story. I remember Lori Woodward sharing the story about when she was on the beach. Or she wasn't on the beach, but they were telling a story person on the beach. And there were all these starfish that were getting, washed up on the beach. And there's all these starfish that are now in the sand. They're going to die. And basically, and I know I've heard Kim tell the story, but basically, this person's running down the beach and they're grabbing the starfish and throwing them back in the water. And they're throwing starfish at the starfish back in the water. But there's so many starfish on the beach that it's just like overwhelming. It's like, how in the world? Oh no, I think we have some people on mute. But how in the world, like, the bottom line is that there's no way that basically she could save every starfish. And someone comes up and says, you know what? It's hopeless. There's too many starfish. There's no way you're going to be able to save them all. You're wasting your time. And the reality of it is, as she picked up this starfish and she goes, you know what? I might not be able to save all the starfish, but I could save this one. And I could save this one. and I could save this one, and I could save this one. And the reality of it is together, what if you had a group of 1,000 people on the beach? What kind of difference would have been made, and how many starfish could have been saved? Point being, guys, if we stay together and we are working towards the common goal that we believe that whatever we want to accomplish, whatever we want it to look like, whatever we feel, which, and guys, people bought in to that story. We have the Bugmans that bought it. We have the Dillmans on here. We have Gabrielle's on the call. Like, there's leader after leader. The Sterlings are on the call. Like, we have all these different people. I see Bartley on the call. So we have all these different people that were leaders that bought into that same mission that we talked about 3 years ago. And they bought into that same mission, that same goal, that same, what we want to create. And then they added their 2 cents and what it looks like and what it feels like. And we're creating this mold, this vision of what it is that is the perfect company that we can create. And what I can share, guys, Lisa's on the call. So there's all these people that joined into that original story, that original feeling, and they bought into it as well. And then now they're sitting there going, you know what? This is what it looks like for us. And this is what it looks like for us. And are we going to go through challenges together? Yep. Are we going to? So it's funny because one of my mentors said, he goes, you have to pick the people that you're going to have problems with. In other words, you pick the group of people that you're going to go through problems with. And what I can tell you is that we have been so blessed to have been able to get a group of people like this together and to collaborate with a group like this. And guys, if you don't feel like you're in that circle or whatever, the bottom line is the circle starts with you. The circle starts with, who are you collaborating with? Who are you sharing the vision with? What does that look like? What does that feel like? And it starts with you. And the bottom line is that it would be great to have a relationship with every single person in the team. But that's also not a reality. Just like, how many of you all have friends that you hang out with and like your group of friends might shift or change? Like, you're hanging out with this group during the winter and this group during the summer and this group during whatever, or there might be friends that you haven't seen in 6 months, but when you see them, that relationship is picked up right over again. And what I can tell you is that this business is about the relationships. This business is about the way that you make people feel through that relationship and how important it is. I was talking to Sean the other day and we were talking about, he goes, one of the biggest things for me, like in this, and it really makes a difference, is like, I'll just call him randomly. He says, normally when I got off the boat and I might have, had a couple beverages or whatever, but I'll just say, I just wanted to let you know that I appreciate you and that I really appreciate our friendship and the impact that you have in my life. And guys, what I can share is that call doesn't happen with every single person because I don't have that relationship with every single person. But what I can tell you is that the people that I have had the privilege to be able to get to know and communicate with, that I absolutely appreciate those relationships. And that to me is the most important part. Like, I talked to Lisa, I don't know if it was, we're in a new week, but it was last week. I talked to Lisa Tolbert for a while. I absolutely appreciate that relationship. I'm not going to start naming names because then it's whatever. But what I can tell you is that every single one of you all have specialness within you. And even though you might not hear it from me per se, there's someone that your relationship has made a major difference in their life. And if you get nothing more out of this call than this, like Ian, I might not talk. In fact, Ian's name came up when I was talking to Sean the other day. And it was like, He's like, I know I need to be driving because we're going to be on the phone for 3 or 4 hours. And he goes, so it's great. Like when I'm on a trip. Right. And the thing is that it's the same for me. Like I might not talk to Ian every day, but when I talk to him, we talk. And he's someone that I absolutely cherish that relationship. Right. And for those of you that have reached out and called me, like that is my favorite part about the business. And a lot of times it's not about business. I can tell you about Ian's trees. Forgot what kind of palm it is, but I know the story. I can tell you all about the palm trees because we were talking about it from the business perspective and how he took these palm trees that were together. I think there's something king palms or whatever, and they grow in these clumps. And basically, at the freeze, he had these clumps where 2 of the clump died. And he had 2 sets of these trees that died. And he said, he replaced them, but he had this experiment and he's like, I'm going to, whatever. And it's funny. It's just like the business. And he cut the dead ones out from the good ones and he put the good ones together in a pot. And he started watering them and fertilizing and taking care of them. He might've been talking to them for all I know. Right. Because they say when you talk to your trees or your plants, it helps. Knowing Ian, he probably talked to him. Ian, you can say if that's true or not, but the bottom line is he's like, man, it's crazy how they came back together. Not only did they come back to life, but they're flourishing better than the ones that are in the ground. And the moral of the story as we were talking about this is that sometimes you got to trim your tree. Sometimes you got to take certain dead relationships out of your life. And that when you put two thriving relationships together on what can happen and what it looks like. I probably butchered his story, but at any rate, I loved when he was sharing that. No, my point with that is that we talked about the business and we likened it to that, but at the end of the day, the business isn't about the business. It's not about us getting on the phone and talking all about the business nonstop. It's about talking about life. So Dave reaches out to me and I'm talking to Dave Dillman or whatever, and we're talking about their travels and what they're doing and all that other kind of stuff. We're not literally talking about the business the whole time. In fact, I think we talked about the business very little because, guys, the business is the relationship. This is relationship marketing. And everybody wants to, figure out what to say and whatever. Well, how about just show some true common interest in the person that you're talking to? Because that's what it's about. It's about knowing what their goals are, their dreams are, their desires, what they want it to look like, what they want it to feel like, and really get to know them to where they feel like they trust you. So where when they're calling you up and sharing things about what they're experiencing, you can share things from a place of truth. And one of the things that I've said over and over, and I say it mainly on leader calls, but what I will share is that I don't basically talk about things from the business to basically feed people a line of crap based on what my check is going to be. I'm not here. If there's problems, I'll talk about the problem. I'm not going to, somebody call me up and say, this is what I'm going through. There are certain challenges and problems that we create in our mind. And then there's also problems that are real. And what I will never do is basically try to talk about something that's real and make it seem like, oh, everything's fuzzy, feel good. I'm going to be truthful with you. And the reason why I'm sharing that is because, look, we're going to go through some legitimate problems together. And how you make your people feel in that relationship and how you help them go through it together with you is going to make all the difference in the world on if they're going to decide to basically go through all these challenges with you, or if they're going to say you're full of crap and you're only saying things based on what's going to better your check. And then next thing you know, they're looking to leave. And this is real talk, guys, because what will happen, and I can assure you this, is that people are going to leave. It happens. Now, this is the best part about it is on if they leave because they feel that something might just be a better fit for them, and that's cool. I'm going to love them, bless and release. But the thing is what you don't want is for them to leave because they feel like you're telling them things just based on what your check is going to be. And that's how you made them feel. So guys, what I'm sharing with you is that the biggest lesson that I learned in this business is how you make people feel. And it's through those true relationships. The biggest thing you can learn is to basically build relationships with people so where they know you, they like you, they trust you, and they want to go through the crap together. You know, who do you want on your side when you're going through the stuff? Life is going to happen. It's going to happen to you. You're going to go through stuff. There's going to be challenges. There's going to be things that you go through. Who do you want there at your side? Who do you want to have your back? Who do you want to be in the trenches with you when you're going through that? Because I can tell you there's people on this call that have gone through stuff with me and they've helped me come out on the other side a better person. So guys, that's what this business is about. It's about the relationships. Just had a young lady that came back to the team and basically she made a post. I responded to it based on what my wife said. My wife's like, such and such made a post. I sent a message via voicemail. She's already been here. And I said, hey guys, or I said, hey, just wanted to say, have you heard the happy company everybody's been talking about? I used the exact line. I said, I hope all is well. Just want to let you know if you ever decide that you want to come back, we'd love to work with you again. Really appreciate you. Hope all is well in life. 5 minutes later, boom. Hey, actually, I do want to come back to the Happy Co. In fact, I'd love to work with you. So guys, it's about the relationships. Everything is about the relationships. And it's how you make people feel. It's how you make people feel. That is the biggest part. Like I can end the call right now. I mean, because that's it. That is it. It's how you make people feel. And I can tell you the messages that I've got from some of you all, and you might not think that it matters, but it's those messages made a difference in my life. And I put those in my emotional bank account because there's times that I go through rough spots. And I appreciate the friendships that I've been able to create in this company. And I also appreciate the future friendships of the people that, you know, that we build relationships with. And guys, what I can tell you is that every single one of you all have those special relationships as well. And even though it might not be me that's talking about that relationship, there's someone else that right now is saying that their life is better because of the things or because of the input that you've had in their life. So with that being said, what's up, bride? My bride just came in. Look at that delicious meal I cooked for you. With that, anybody want to share anything in closing? So, recap.
Hey, dog. So real quick before you recap, great call, by the way. But I just listen. It's always a two-way street, and Chris calls me way more than I call Chris. I'll just be honest with you. And we do drive 8 hours one direction to go hang out with Chris, right? So, but that's my kind of my point. And I'm not telling you that you got to drive 8 hours to hang out with somebody, but I was in the gym tonight, and there's a young guy that's getting ready to come to work with us, and he would love these calls. I mean, he's like all about it, right? And he heard a little bit of this as we were getting in the truck. And the point is, what we were talking about before this call started in the gym was relationships. And it's been tough getting together this past week because we've all been so busy. And, you know, I said, hey, dude, there's no apology you don't need to apologize to me. It's a two-way street. I haven't reached out to you the last 3 or 4 days because I've just been slammed. And he said, listen, you don't have to apologize to me either. And what I'm just sharing with you guys is this. Anyone that you want to build a relationship, you want another arrow in your quiver, you got to reach out and build those relationships. If you're waiting on the other person to do it, it's not going to happen. You got to show them that they're important in your life as well. And that goes for our friends, our spouses, everybody, not just building a business, but it's the crux of what we do. It's literally the heartbeat of this business. I mean, that is network marketing. You get paid for the value, the enrichment that you're bringing to other people's lives. Basically, that's the end game. I made a post on Facebook this afternoon on the way to the gym, and the picture says overnight success. And the post is actually about the opposite. And I say, what is it? I don't even know what overnight success is. But what I do know is this: if you don't start doing something different now, in 5 years, you'll be where you are today. If you want the quote overnight success in 5 years, you got to do something today. And in reality, it's just building relationships. That's all it is. And so some people go, oh, well, it's easy. Chris knows 1 billion people in network marketing. It's easy for Chris. And it's easy for so-and-so. They can know everybody. Oh, okay, that overnight success took him 25 years to build. My question is, in 25 years, are you still going to be without the relationships? And a year from now, 5 years from now, you're going to be without new relationships? Or are we going to start tonight building new relationships and stronger relationships and just loving on the people that we love on, not necessarily because we want to make money, but just because we like them? And in the end, the money will find you if you just concentrate on doing that. That's the important part.
And it's funny that even through some of the coffee chats, there's relationships being built. Like, for instance, I see Nietzsche on this call. Nietzsche's always basically not only participating, but throwing feedback and stuff like that. Always has a great energy. The Buckmans and stuff like that. Bookmans, whatever, however you're supposed to say it. Y'all can unmute and say it if I say it wrong. But the bottom line is, you get to know people even through, it's Buck, all right, I said it right, okay. You get to know people through a lot of these relationships. It's funny. I knew Ian, I knew Ricky, but Massini, the Massinis and the McLeans, I didn't know in person. Bookman. Y'all are saying it's Bookman? Oh my gosh. I always say it wrong. Whatever. I'll probably say Buckman next week too. Sorry guys. But point being is that we actually got to know each other on Zoom. Literally when we all saw each other, it was like we were all besties, that we built these relationships through Zoom and being on the calls. So again, all the calls are voluntary. You could do whatever you want to do. If your team has calls that you get value from, benefit, awesome, get on those if you can. If not, what I do want to share is don't confuse people, making them feel that being on all these calls is doing the business, and that if they are not on all these calls, then they're not good enough and they can't do this or whatever it might be. So we just want to be very, very clear on that. So that was a recap. Anybody else want to share in closing? All right. So get on whatever you can. Keep your battery charged. Focus in on your dreams and focus in on your relationships and basically your friendships. Oh, somebody unmuted? Almost there. No. All right. So we'll cut this bad boy short. Everybody have a great night. Appreciate everybody that added value by being here. You do make a difference, and we are just, I just can't even put into words how blessed we are to have all of you all in our life. The true key to success in network marketing is getting a large group of people to do a few simple things over and over and over again. And we feel so blessed to have such an amazing group of people that, are open and willing to work on themselves and plug into different calls and build those relationships with, if it's not with us, but other people in the team that also brings value to other people. What we're doing is good. And basically us doing this together is even better. So take care, everyone. Love you guys. Appreciate you. And talk to you soon.
Thank you, Chris. Always great.
Take care, guys.